Hey there guys, I'm back doing another video. Today I'm here doing a update video for the new year 2021 to sort of give you guys an update as to what I've been doing for the past 2 years for myself, the channel, and what I plan on doing in the upcoming year. So last time I did an update video was 2018, I believe, and I pretty much said that I wanted to break from content creation. I was going to stop creating any new videos on Saturdays, every single Saturday I should say, and I was going to pursue a career in League of Legends as a professional player. Obviously that didn't happen. That didn't work out. I don't regret anything that I did during these 2 years. I don't regret taking the time off to sort of go for it, just because I know that a League of Legends career, the older I get, the chances of me getting on a team sort of shrink. So I wanted to go for this opportunity after I finished my time in community college in the summer of 2018, sort of start grinding, and then the new season would happen, and then I would grind solo queue. So I actually wanted to like quit partway through community college and just sort of just like straight up go for it. But that didn't happen. My dad was like, you should like finish and then you could do what you want. And I was like, makes sense. You know, if I'm going to start something, I might as well finish it, is how he put it. So yeah, so when the 2019 season started, season 9, I saw that I was improving among the rank, but so like I was like low diamond, and then I went to like grandmaster, like peak like 333 LP or something like that. So yeah, the reason why I think that season 9's ranking doesn't really mean all that much is because Riot messed up the MMR in the beginning of season 9, and like a lot of other just like really bad things happened. I don't know, like that was just like really unlucky the way that Riot handled season 9, and like the fact that they messed up the MMR and how that all worked is kind of crazy to me, because they messed that up, it pretty much ruined the rest of that season and even part of season 10, because there are still players today that are in those elos and they're not supposed to be in there, etc, etc. So yeah, and if you don't know anything about League, don't even question what I'm talking about. Pretty much like the MMR is like your hidden sort of rank, and then your actual rank is what people see. So the MMR sort of behind the ranking for the beginning of season 9 was like inflated. Like people were getting like plus like 30 something LP but minus 10. So like people were climbing really fast through the ladder, but like they weren't improving as a player. So you had these people in like Grandmaster Challenger, but like they weren't Grandmaster Challenger players over the course of one season. For me personally, you know, me going from low diamond to like Grandmaster 300 something LP, do I think it's part of season 9? Yes. Do I also think I improved? Yeah, a little. So I was pretty much like just trying to like grind solo queue, and then like partway through in like June or whatever, they just like implemented like the new way for like, so like my goal when I was trying to go pro was to just make scouting grounds, because like once I make scouting grounds, like I could like work on streaming, working on like my brand, and like working on myself as a player from then on. But they implemented competing in amateur teams because Riot Games just decided to like change the format of scouting grounds and announce it in June or whatever, which was really weird because like that's 6 months into the year, and like they just decided to make this change now, or like announce the change then. I think they should have just announced the change either in March or even sooner than that, so like people know to like get prepared for these amateur face-it tournaments to compete for spots in scouting grounds. So I went from grinding solo queue every day to trying to find a team ASAP to sort of, you know, try to get that competitive experience and sort of, you know, get in there, if you know what I'm saying. So yeah, and then when I was on this team that I was on, I actually suffered a wrist injury, unfortunately. So if you guys don't know, if you play a lot of computer games for long hours and you don't sort of take care of your wrists could get messed up, which is pretty much what happened to mine. And it wasn't carpal tunnel or anything like that. So what would happen for my injury is that I would be able to play for like 8 hours straight, even more than that, without no issues. Like I would have like my wrist guards on and everything, but once the sort of pain started happening, I would play like one game and then I would feel like a tingling pain in like my hands or whatever, and I was like, this is not good. So I went to a doctor. And they pretty much just said that like you just have to like stop playing. Like you just have to like chill out for a bit and like not play. So That sucked. Just because like I peaked at like, you know, the highest that I ever did. And because I had to let my wrist heal, I had to literally stop playing Cutoff League and just chill out. So because of that, my account decayed from 300 LP Grandmaster to like Diamond 1, Diamond 2 is pretty much where I try to keep it at. So at the end of Season 9, I ended like Diamond 1, 0 LP or something like that, which is unfortunate because I peaked at like 300 something LP, which I think that was pretty cool for me personally. So because I was so close and because I thought that I could try again and do it again, going into 2020, I took another year off of school. So my intention was to just take 1 year off of school and then see what happens. But because I suffered the wrist injury and I didn't like go to like my full potential sort of thing, I was like, 1 more year is not gonna hurt that much because I'm still young. Like I am 22, which might seem old to some people, but I'm 22. I'm still young. I think that taking 1 more year off of school when I have my associate's degree, where I could go to any New York State college I wanted because I have the associate's degree. I was like, well, I might as well try it again going into season 10, aka 2020. So I tried my best to get back into Masters, Grandmasters during season 10, but I always came short in like promos or like reaching like high diamond. But the game just felt like it was just, I don't know, like every single time like I would like wake up and like grind the game, it just felt like that I wasn't going anywhere, you know, like my passion for the game was lost. COVID happening and the whole quarantine situation didn't help for players because there was a lot more toxic players and just like frustrating things to deal with within League of Legends that I was playing. So I just got like so just like not motivated to play the game anymore because just how the game worked, the ranking system, like everything, like matchmaking, like everything just sort of like piled onto itself along with COVID. So I think that me just going from a sort of everyday routine, waking up, playing 7 to 8 hours a day of solo queue, went to like 0 hours a day and just like watching anime and like playing video games or like other games, I should say. So that really sucked because I honestly really thought like at the end of my community college days at the summer of 2018, I really had like a huge passion and huge love for League. I still do. I still like watching the game. I still like, you know, analyzing the game and things like that. I even play it sometimes with my friends. But yeah, just like my passion for the game and like my sort of competitive drive to compete in League just died off because I was just like, I'm not going anywhere with this. I don't want to take another year off because I'm just like, you know, it's just not for me anymore. So it sucks because when I was like watching anime and playing other games, I quickly realized that I was just much happier just like not playing League because like I just love anime now. Like I am such a weeb now. It's kind of crazy. Like I am wearing this Tanjiro crew neck sweatshirt thing that I got from Janway. Because I just love anime. I love Demon Slayer. I love Hunter x Hunter. I read manga now. Like there's just so much that has happened this year for me personally that I've just like shifted so much from League. I just like enjoy playing other games now, just like casually, or even, you know, when I do play League with my neighbor / like my longest time friend, you know, when I play with him, I'm like, you know, super casual about it. I'm not taking the game super seriously. You know, same things happen that would happen when I was like being super serious about it. You know, people inting, AFKing, bad attitudes, toxic, all of that stuff still happens. It's just that I'm not like super invested and super into it because when I was trying to go pro, when I was trying to, you know, make it to the top of like challenger, top 5 sort of thing, to get into scouting grounds, I was taking every single game super seriously, trying to improve as much as I can. I even bought a coaching lesson from Low Pally, who is a high elo support player who's kind of old. You know, it is a sort of meme on his channel. He's like close to 30, but like he knows what he's doing and he knows what he's talking about, which is why I took a coaching lesson from him. And yeah, I was super duper like invested into this, which is why I took a whole year off of school. I invested into the coaching lesson. I was doing VOD reviews, all of that stuff, but yeah, I just found myself being much happier just playing other games like The Last of Us 2, watching anime, and yeah, just like it just sort of happened naturally where I was just like, I don't want to do this league thing anymore. You know, like it suddenly went from, like I said, playing League every day to like me like watching anime and doing other stuff throughout my day, because that felt more productive and felt more rewarding to me, especially during quarantine, because I did have a part-time job when like COVID was happening, like towards the end of March. But because of the cases were going up and it was getting kind of scary, my mom was like, well, you gotta quit, you know? And I was like, well, that sucks. So, but I am working now, so, you know, still getting the bag and stuff like that. But one last thing that I want to touch on sort of with the whole like league thing, it's kind of weird that like the path to like professional play for League is like not clear at all. Unless you're like top 5 challenger in your role, it's super hard to get noticed by pros and other people within the community. And having to like dedicate your life to this game where like the company doesn't even have clear steps or ways to reach a professional level of play is very odd, because League of Legends is probably the most popular esport, and the amateur and academy scene is not taken all that seriously, especially in North America. And the only player to have risen up from academy / the amateur scene into LCS like very quickly was Pume or Poom, which he is also a support player, but now going into 2021, he's back in academy. So like, obviously like maybe he was brought up too soon or whatever the case was, but yeah, it just seems super duper weird that like, you know, Riot doesn't have like a very like clear sort of like steps and sort of ways to reach professional play. You sort of just have to grind your life out to this game, which like could pay off but also could not. So it sucks definitely, because I used to really really love League, but nowadays I'm just like, I like League, I'm just not, you know, super competitive about it. You know, going into like the 2021 season, I might play my 10 ranked games, but that's about it. But yeah, I still like watching Worlds. I still like watching TSM, 100 Thieves, you know, whichever teams that I'm super into. But yeah, I'm just not invested in getting super duper good at the support role anymore, which is, you know, something that really sucks, because, you know, I took so much time off, or I wouldn't say so much time off, but I took time off. I took 2 years off of my sort of school and like sort of journalism career to sort of pursue this League of Legends thing, and it just sucks that it didn't happen. But I'm gonna stop rambling and move on to my next point, which is, you know, school and like everything like that, other stuff that deals with my personal life. So what am I going to do since I'm not going pro? Obviously, I'm going to go back to school. And like I said, journalism is something that I am very passionate about, something that I very much like doing, especially gaming journalism. If you guys follow my channel, you guys know I like doing reviews. I like doing the podcasts where we talk about gaming news and sort of cover that aspect. And before I even did this whole like League of Legends Pro thing, I had like this sort of, you know, idea that I wanted to do games journalism, because I knew that I like to talk about games. I knew I like to report on games, because I've been doing it for years on this channel. Like, you know, I've been doing thoughts videos, I've been doing game reviews, you know, ever since May 2012 when I created this channel, is pretty much what I've been doing since the end of my senior year of high school. I knew that I wanted to be a games journalist. So good thing I had a backup plan, because this whole League of Legends thing didn't pan out. So yeah, like I said, creating video reviews, thoughts, impressions, and my podcast where I report on gaming news. I just love discussing and talking about video games, and if I could have a job doing that, obviously that's going to be very, very dope. And I'm actually kind of excited to go back to school. I don't know what it is. Going into one of the fall semesters of last year, when all of like my coworkers at my other job were going back, I was like, man, like I really wish I was going back to school, you know? And I was still doing like the whole like league thing, but I was like, I need to go for this league thing, because at the time I wasn't playing, but I was like, man, you know, like they're all going back to school, maybe I should go back to school. But I wanted to go and give the league thing obviously one last shot. So and yeah, it's going to be a somewhat of a new experience, I'm going to say, because this is my first time going to a 4-year school compared to my community college, which is only a 2-year school. So I'm very ready, very excited to go back into a sort of school environment, actually. So yeah, and if you guys haven't been following me on Facebook or Twitter or looking in the description of my game reviews and like other sort of like journalistic sort of videos where, you know, countdowns or whatever, I've been making articles on my Medium page, just sort of posting them on there and sort of trying my best to sort of do that. And it's been kind of fun because I think that I should have done that a lot sooner. Honestly, I think I should have been posting my articles on there. It's sort of like my video scripts and post them as articles on Medium a long time ago, just because, you know, having that sort of like a resume or sort of that sort of like a catalog of stuff that I've done in terms of journalism stuff is going to help me in the future, just in case if someone wants to see like my amateur work or whatever. And my Last of Us 2 review I made into an article, and that article actually became featured on Medium's gaming page, which was super duper cool because that video and that script and everything that I wrote in that video and that article, I meant it when it came to The Last of Us Part 2. And I worked so many hours on the video, on the article, just like making sure that I got every single point that I wanted to across for that game. It being featured on Medium's sort of gaming page was so cool and very, very awesome. So yeah, so YouTube, what am I going to do about YouTube? So sort of give you guys a update as to what I've been doing for the past 2 years on YouTube. So like I said in the beginning of my sort of like life update and sort of what I was doing with League, is that I lost a passion for creating YouTube videos. I'm going to be honest. Creating videos every single Saturday, especially when some of them were just like thoughts videos that were kind of just like throwaways. I was like, man, like I am losing my passion for creating content. And that sucked, and I was getting really burnt out, you know, doing consistent new videos on Saturday since like 2013, 2014, which I was still in high school then. But when I stopped doing content creation every single week, it was because of League, but also because I was in college, and it just didn't, you know, mix all that well. And, you know, I started a job during that time when I was still doing new videos every single Saturday. So I'm honestly super glad that I took a whole year off of like consistent content creation throughout 2019 to like just sort of give myself a break, because 2020 is when I sort of came back, and, you know, quarantine and me losing my passion for the whole League of Legends thing obviously helped me come back into YouTube and sort of create videos every single Saturday. And The Last of Us 2 definitely helped as well, because with how polarizing that game was and how many different opinions there were. And when I was playing it, I was like, and when I finally finished it, I was like, I need to make a video on this. And I don't know how long the video is going to be, but it's going to be a video that I'm going to make sure that I'm putting the best I can into, which is why it ended up being 35 minutes, because I had to talk about so much. But on top of that, you know, the editing process and everything like that, I just had so much fun creating that video. No matter what your opinion on that game is, I think that it is very interesting to have a AAA title like that have so many different polarizing opinions. And in my opinion, is definitely, you know, unique as yours if you have one on the game, if you played and actually fully finished it yourself. Because I know a lot of people have a opinion on the game, but they haven't fully played it or fully finished it, which is very weird, because I think that having a opinion on the game, having a opinion on any game that you haven't finished, makes your opinion mean nothing. So yeah, I was very happy with the final product, and I was glad to make a video on one of my most anticipated games of the year, definitely. So and since that video, I have literally been dropping new videos every single Saturday. So yeah, I was very happy doing that. After I made that video, I was like, all right, let's see what else I can make, you know? So I made the Life is Strange comic book review that I wanted to do for a long time, along with the Sonic IDW series, along with a bunch of other videos that I really like that I did. My Sonic Adventure 2 race I did with Kofi as a sort of stream highlights video. At first, when I created that video, it was actually a lot of sort of like technical like difficulties when I was editing it. But I was glad that when I finally was able to like actually edit it and like, you know, put it all together, that it ended up the way it did. So now I'm going to talk about the future of this channel, the future of this YouTube channel, pretty much everything that I've been doing. So first up, live streams. I probably won't be going back to live streaming, unfortunately. The year 2020 is definitely the year that I streamed the most. I streamed a lot just because of quarantine. I wasn't working, so I would wake up on some days and just like stream for however many hours, and then there's that. And then I learned how to dual stream with YouTube and Twitch and try to, you know, get my exposure that way. But, you know, I had fun. I had a lot of fun doing my streams, and you know, if if I happen to be streaming again, I'm not saying it's 0%, but the chances of me streaming again is going to be very, very low because I'm working, I'm going to be going back to school, and the other stuff that I'm going to be creating for this channel I want to also focus on. And live streaming just doesn't fit into my sort of plate that I already have filled up. I'm going back to school as a full-time student. I am working a part-time job, and then on top of that, I am trying to create regular videos every other week along with my podcast that I am also going to be doing every other week. So, speaking of the podcasts, I am going to put a sort of parentheses around that S. So the podcasts. So I started a League of Legends podcast during 2020 because me and my best friend Jeffrey, we both have a passion for League at the time, and we both like to talk about the esports and stuff like that, and we even still like to talk about the esports stuff on like Discord or whatever. But that podcast is probably dead in the water. I'm not entirely sure. So we're probably not going to bring it back. I'm sorry to everyone that enjoyed that podcast. Honestly, that podcast was doing a lot better than my normal podcast that I do with Damien. But me and him we just don't play the game as much as we did before. We don't invest our time into the e-game like we did before. So yeah, that show's probably dead in the water. Sorry about that. The Travis and Damien podcast is still going to be going strong. Every other week, we're going to be uploading new episodes. And I feel like despite how much time me and Damien have been doing like the show, like whether it was with the Two Players podcast and with our new branding with the Travis and Damien podcast, which isn't all that original for a name, I feel like that we have finally gotten super comfortable with what we're doing and what we're doing with the show. And personally, I'm now hella comfortable doing the podcast every other week. I know I need to stop using filler words like and things like that, and whatever other filler words that I use, that is definitely a word that I use a lot during the show. But like I just did there. So yeah, filler words and everything like that, I think me and him both, like we just have to sort of like bog it down and just try our best to articulate our thoughts in words in a much elegant manner that isn't just things like that, whatever. God, I said again. Jesus Christ. But yeah, it just happens. So yeah, I'm very happy that I found Anchor because now the show is available on Apple, Spotify, every other podcasting platform. Highlight videos for the podcast, if you guys have not been noticing. Sometimes after I drop a podcast episode, Tuesday through Thursday, depending on how many highlight videos. If I have 3, I'll upload Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. If I have 2, I'll upload Tuesday, Thursday. If I have 1 podcast highlight, I'll upload it on Wednesday. Depending on the episode, I will chop up the podcast, the gaming bits, into highlights. So to anyone that happens to stumble across the video and they want to, check out the podcast or even check out my content, I think that will pretty much give us another way to expose ourselves to other people that aren't just listening to the show. And with the last episode that we did for 2020, that episode was kind of hard to highlight because the main part of the show was our best games of 2020. And that highlight would have been like an hour and 30 minutes, which at that point, it's not really a highlight. And then the other bits of the episode weren't gaming related. So I decided to not highlight stuff. So podcast highlights might happen depending on the episode, depending on what we talk about, because it's not just a gaming podcast. We talk about superhero movies, we talk about anime, we talk about whatever we want. Because before we would talk about The Walking Dead. So that's why I think the rebranding of the Travis and Damien podcast that we did back in 2018 really matches the show, because it's really whatever we want to talk about. And what we're currently passionate about is video games, always, anime, and superhero movies. So, but yeah, highlight videos for the podcast will happen depending on the episode, is pretty much what I'm saying. Final update is regarding the actual YouTube channel, the tvsonicgaming content. Don't worry, guys, I'm not going to be leaving. I'm not going to be stopping my new videos every single Saturday. It's just that it's going to be every other Saturday. So the reason I'm doing that is because I want to make sure that I am not burning myself out on content, but also since I'm going back to school, and since I have the other week to fill in with like the podcast episode, I don't want to, create new videos every single Saturday when I don't necessarily have to. And, I'm going back to school. I'm working a part-time job. My plate is very, very full. So yeah, I'm pretty much going to be making TV Sonic Gaming videos every other Saturday. So for this week, it's only this update video. Unfortunately, I hate when I do update videos and I only do the update video and not like a TV Sonic Gaming video attached to it. But just for how my schedule has been and like other things that have been going on within my personal life, I just want to just have this update video because this video is going to be pretty long. Since I am updating you guys pretty much on everything that I've been doing for the past 2 years for YouTube, my personal life, and stuff like that. So, yeah, I will be a little less consistent, but not as inconsistent as I was within 2019, where I was just uploading videos whenever I felt like it on a Saturday. It's going to be every other Saturday. So pretty much how it's going to be is that it's going to be so TV Sonic Gaming video this week. Next week's going to be the podcast. The week after that is going to be a TV Sonic Gaming video. The week after that's going to be a podcast, and then it's just going to keep repeating. So, yeah, I'm not going to put a lot of pressure on myself to upload a TV Sonic Gaming video on those Saturdays. I'm feeling like it's going to be a 70% chance that you are going to get a TV Sonic Gaming video on those Saturdays that I'm supposed to upload. But don't kill me if I don't upload, because I'm going, like I said, school, work, podcasts, and other things that are going on within my life. So, yeah, definitely want to make sure that I'm not filling up my plate too much. And also, when I upload a video, it's not going to be a random thoughts video of something that just happened within the news, because I would do that a lot back in like 2017, 2018, and I did not like doing that. So when I upload a video, I want it to be something that I would like to watch or something that I would enjoy to create and stuff like that. So, yeah, that is it for this update video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I appreciate anyone who watched the full thing. If you skipped around, whatever, I really don't care. As long as you watched the video, I appreciate you clicking on it. So thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys have not already, you can subscribe and put new videos up on Saturdays, hopefully. If you guys have not already, you can check out my social medias, Facebook and Twitter. Try to put updates to my future videos. Check out my podcast. I do it on anchor.fm/Travis Damien Podcast. It's available on Apple, Spotify, every other podcasting platform. We talk about games, movies, and anime every other week. And yeah, that is all I have for today. Thank you guys for watching this video once again. I will see you guys next time with more videos.